Hello and welcome to this guide to Blackwing Descent. We will be doing 3 bosses on normal and 3 bosses on heroic. We will be starting with Magmaw. The main issue with this boss is that he hits like a truck. Your pet should have trouble surviving unless you're really well geared. So remember to use your quintuple last stand or a simple last stand if your pet is starting to get really low on health. The only other thing you need to watch out for are the lava parasites. He will make a pillar of flame erupt from under you, simply move from it, and then there will be little ads that will spawn. However, a simple barrage is usually enough to kill them. You can also use an explosive trap to damage them a little bit more, and a force trap to slow them. You don't want them to hit you in melee, or they will put a dot on you and then come back at full health. So simply avoid them and kill them. Every 90 seconds he will mangle his highest aggro target, that can be you. So make sure that your pet has aggro beforehand. And then he will crash in half of the room, stunning you if you're standing there. Simply move out from that half and dismiss your pet. Then you will have to summon a new pet, since the pet you just dismissed will have an armor debuff and will also not have last stand up. So simply cycle through your pets every time he casts Mangle. There is also an achievement if you don't get hit by any lava parasite, but this boss shouldn't prove difficult if you have enough gear and your pet doesn't have much trouble surviving. The second boss is the Omnotron defense system. This boss consists of 4 golems and will be looking at the fight in heroic. There will always be 2 activated bosses except at the start, and each boss has his abilities, so you can have different combinations. You simply need to deal with both separately. So first there's Electron. His only ability that matters is a chain lightning that will deal a little damage, but that's all. Magmatron has 2 abilities. The first one is an unavoidable AoE that deals really low damage, and the second one is his flamethrower. Now, it will sometimes also root you in place when he casts it, and when he does, to avoid the damage you need to feign death. However, if you do not have the trinket that reduces feign death's cooldown, you won't have it available for the second flamethrower, in which case, if you cannot afford the high damage, you can use deterrence to block it. Then there's Toxitron. He will sometimes spawn little green ads that you must avoid and that you must also kill. And then sometimes he will also spawn a cloud. Now if you stay in this cloud, you will take increased damage, and that's real for your pet too, so make sure that neither you nor him have the debuff. And finally there's Arcanotron, the most dangerous one. He has a cast that you want to interrupt, but you can also deterrence it. And the deterrences are best used when he wants to cast his spell while being on a power generator, which is the buff he puts under his feet that increases the damage of anyone, both the golems and yours, who stand in it. So make sure to move the bosses out of the rune, but you can also go in the rune. However, if it starts growing, it means it's going to explode, so move out of it. Now, when a new one activates, you need to switch to him immediately, because the old one will put a shield on himself. Now, pet attacks and dots do not activate the shield. However, a murder of crows will. So make sure that you do not have a murder of crows on a golem that will soon get his shields up. And also if you have the legendary cloak, then the proc will activate the shield. So it's actually a good idea to stop targeting anyone when the proc activates. As you can see here, it activated when Electron had his shields up, and it nearly killed me. Third up is Maloriak Heroic. For this boss, you will want a pet that can interrupt, and therefore a gorilla works perfectly. The first phase will be about dealing with ads and the boss. Now he has 3 abilities: Release Aberrations that will spawn ads, his Arcane Storm that must be interrupted or deteranced, and his Remedy that must be dispelled. The first phase will be a dark phase. You will channel a spell on your pet that will stop him from getting any healing. So you want to make sure that absolutely no one is attacking your pet except the boss. So you will have to kite 5 Wild Swirls and maybe 3 Aberrations. Simply kite them and kill them, and then you can go back to DPSing the boss. The way Aberrations work is that there is 18 of them, and they must all be dead by the time the boss reaches 25%. Now, if he releases Aberration before the dark phase, then you will have 15 Aberrations up when the green phase starts. If not, you will have 12 Aberrations up. Whatever you do, never interrupt that spell. Aberrations must be kited until the green phase, or when there are only few of them, they can be killed. Now, each aberration gives nearby aberrations a minus 20% damage taken and also a damage increase. So if you have more than 5 of them near each other, you won't be able to kill them. It also works for the boss, so make sure never to bring them near the boss. After the black phase will come the blue and red phase. During this phase, try not to DPS the boss to make sure that you don't break into phase 2 too soon. However, you will have to kite the ads. Now, during the blue phase, he will have an ability called Flash Freeze that will kill you, especially if you're kiting aberrations. So, you want to make sure not to interrupt the first Arcane Storm and to deterrence it. Then, he will end up casting his second Arcane Storm. Deterrence it too. Then, the blue phase will be nearly ended and he will try to cast Flash Freeze. If you're an engineer, you can blow your Nitro Boost and start running very fast and it will miss you. If you're not an engineer, as soon as his Arcane Storm is ended and he's going to cast it, disengage and it will miss you. During the red phase, you will want to interrupt his Arcane Storms, which is why you need the pet that can interrupt. And he will also put a debuff called Going Flames on you that doesn't deal much damage, but deals a lot more damage if you take damage while you have the debuff. So try to avoid taking damage while you have it. And he will sometimes cast Scorching Blast that will one-shot you if you're in front of him. Right before the green phase, you want to feign death to put all aberrations on your pet, and you will need to blow quintuple last stand or your pet will die. Then, once the green phase has started, the aberrations will lose the damage increased and reduced damage taken buff, and they will take 100% increased damage. So this is the moment to go crazy with your AoEs and kill all the aberrations present. You must also make sure that the boss has enough health before this phase starts, not to go to phase 2 too soon. Finish all remaining aberrations, if there are too many apps, you can start misdirecting one to your pet, so it will leave the others and not have the debuff anymore. Then you will have to kill the Vile's wheels that will spawn in the next dark phase. And finally, you will be able to bring him to phase 2. Now, you want to bring him to phase 2 with as little health as possible, so make sure to bring him under 25% when he's starting to cast his channel spell. Phase 2 will be completely different from phase 1, bar the remedy that you still need to dispel. He will spawn 2 prime subjects. These can be misdirected to your pets and are also tauntable. However, they each put a 20% damage taken reduction on the boss, so you want to kite them as much as you can while avoiding the red flames and the blue spheres, and you will also have an unavoidable poison AoE. So simply kill the boss before he kills you or your pet. Fourth up is Atramedes. He's the easiest boss in this instance, even in Heroic. So during phase 1, you simply want to avoid the sonar discs he launches at you, and when he starts channeling his breath, you want to start running around him. As long as you don't have more than 30 sound, his breath won't hit you. If you have more than 30 sound, then it's a good idea to use a shield to interrupt him and reduce your sound to 0. Also, when an imp spawns, he will be invulnerable until he reaches your head, and once he's on your head you won't be able to attack him. So tell your pet to kill him as quickly as possible, or he will quickly raise your sound. Finally, when the boss casts Searing Flame, use a deterrence or a shield. After 90 seconds, the air phase will start. You want to run away from his beam. However, if you feign death, the beam will disappear entirely and you won't have to take care of it for the rest of the phase. However, you can also use the shields to interrupt the beam. Also, avoid all AoEs on the ground. Then, the ground phase will start again, and you will only have to worry about not having more than 30 sounds whenever he casts his tracking breath. All you have to do is to kill him before you run out of shields, but if you're having trouble with that, simply feign death during the flying phases and you won't even have to use shields during that. Fifth boss is Chimaeron. Now this boss is a little special because he deals enormous damage and can one-shot your pet. However, if you have more than 10,000 hit points when he hits you, you will only be reduced to 1 hit point and you won't die. However, every 3 attacks, he will cast a double strike, so the first strike will put you at 1 HP and the second one will kill you. So the goal of the fight is to deal with the double attacks without dying. Now, he will also put a debuff on you called Break. It will reduce your armor. It will reduce your healing by 15%. Not that you're really going to heal your pet anyway, since he usually gets one-shotted. And it will also stop you from getting hit by Caustic Slime, which will kill you if it happens at the same time as a boss attack. So you want to make sure that his second melee hit hits you. Now, to deal with the double attacks, you want each time that you can to have your pet take them. He will survive if you use all his cooldowns, But even if he dies, since the boss melees really slowly, by the time you rest your pet, the boss will hit you, but you will be back at more than 10,000 hit points for the next attack. Now, if you feign death is on cooldown and the boss has aggro on you or your pet is dead, then the only way to survive is to use deterrence. So keep it for these moments. Sometimes his massacre will knock the Maloriak offline, and you will have 25 seconds where the boss doesn't do anything. So simply rest your pet if he's dead, DPS the boss and wait for your CDs to refresh themselves. And once the boss gets near 20% health, use Stampede. When he reaches 20% health, you won't be able to heal yourself or to heal your pet. So as soon as you reach 1 hit point, feign death, use your quintuple last stand, use all of your pet's cooldowns, and kill the boss before he kills your pet. Then, finally, there is Nefarian. Now, this fight consists of 3 phases. During the first phase, you want to kill Onyxia as soon as Nefarian lands, so simply burst Onyxia and ignore the other adds. And then phase 2 will start. You will have 3 prototypes on 3 pillars, so they channel an extremely hard-hitting AoE. So you will want to interrupt the first prototype, kill him, then move to the second prototype using a deterrent to reduce damage taken, use a gorilla to interrupt him, kill him, and then go back to your spirit beast for healing and go to the third prototype. Now, pests usually have some trouble following you, so you can either dismiss them and then summon them again once you are on the pillar, or you can put them on passive and follow. However, that will make them teleport where you are, but it will only work once, so usually wait until you are on the pillar to do it. For phase 3, you will be taking a lot less damage, so it's better to take out a turtle, because you will want her to tank Nefarian, and once there are simply too many adds on you, to make her tank the adds. You don't want to stand behind Nefarian, because his tail will stun you. You also don't want to stand in front of him, because he has a breath, and you don't want to stand in the fire in the ground. And other than that, you will only have an electrocute every 10% of the boss health, but it doesn't deal a lot of damage. But if you manage to survive phase 2, then phase 3 is really easy. So that's all for this guide. I hope it has helped you, and if you have any questions, make sure to put them in the comments. Thank you for watching.